Hello, dear friends. I don't like to give specific dates, but everyone has their own theory, and I have to report different opinions on this without taking sides. Opinion piece. Demolition of Europe. According to a Swedish newspaper, we are the most divided continent. Rand Analytical Centre paper. We are heading towards a war economy. The main goal would be to divide Europe. Europe suffers from sanctions more than Russia. The Simpsons talked about 24th September. The Jewish New Year begins on Sunday 25. Juan O'Savin reveals several important dates. This transformation is taking forever. It's taking too much time. Better translated. Let's start. In quotes, the destruction of Europe was planned, according to David Leifschulte. A Swedish newspaper has published a document on the strategy to destroy the European Union economy. The shocking document describes how the war and the energy crisis in Europe were planned, writes Nia Dagbladet. We are talking about a leak from the Rand Analytical Centre. The document states that the aggressive foreign policy the West was pursuing forced Russia to intervene militarily. Washington's aim was to declare Russia as an aggressor and to introduce a long-prepared package of additional sanctions that has long been fulfilled. In this scenario, the European Union economy will unavoidably collapse, the paper says. As a result, resources worth up to $9 trillion may flow from Europe to the Americas, and well-educated European youth would be forced to immigrate. The main goal would be to divide Europe, especially Germany and Russia, and destroy the European economy, forcing a halt to the supply of Russian energy resources to the continent. This would be the master plan. Decadence. David Engels, a historian at the Free University of Brussels, drew a parallel between Europe and the collapse of the Roman Republic, according to a report in the British newspaper Express. In quotes, in 20 to 30 years, Europe would have become an authoritarian or imperial state, after a phase similar to the decadence, following the example of the Roman Republic. He said there were many similarities between the European Union and the equivalent of Julius Caesar, adding that many elements that resulted in the destruction of the Roman Empire afflict Europe today, including individualism, the decline of traditional culture, fundamentalism, and rampant crime. Energy crisis. Spanish energy crisis. A CaixaBank study demonstrates the mechanics of the destruction of manufacturing industries due to rising oil prices. It shows the correlation between rising energy prices and the selling prices of products. You can see that after such a price increase, there is no practical possibility for industries to operate. The importance of renewable energy is growing, but too slowly to be an immediate solution. It is vitally important that the price of renewable energy is competitive with oil, natural gas and coal. We cannot plan to abandon our current energy sources before the replacement is ready. There seems to be no recognition of this fact. In addition, it needs the old sources as a backup for when wind or solar panels do not have the wind or sun for particular periods. The deployment of renewables cannot necessarily be relied upon to keep pace with the development of coal, oil, and natural gas. The rate of renewable energy installations is expected to be lower and slower than anticipated. Additional surplus volume is also required to move energy from one region to another as available sunlight and wind vary with climate. The US has enough oil, natural gas and coal to weather the storm of Russian sanctions, but Europe does not. Political date. As we move towards the end of 2022, we will begin to see a significant change in our perception of time and reality. This could have a negative impact on our ability to choose our own timeline if we don't see it coming. It is time to open our eyes even wider and see how they plan to lock us into a one-dimensional reality. The Simpsons predicted an end of the world event of September 24th as an electromagnetic pulse. What could happen on Saturday 24th September, according to Thomas Anderson? With Russia declaring the mobilization of its reservists, things are likely to get ugly. A referendum is planned in Donbass and other Russian-speaking regions of Ukraine on joining Russia and leaving Ukraine. If this goes ahead, perhaps next week, then a NATO declaration of war may be possible. With Chinese troops entering Ukraine from Russian territory, the next great military superpower is officially in the game. According to Juan O'Savin, something is about to happen in the election period. Both sides have a plan. Once the fight starts, we will see who has the wits about them. There are things in play for September 23rd and 24th, and something in the Jewish calendar relates to that for October 23rd and 24th. But all of that would be just set up, not the main event, which would be a closing on October 29th. There is only one option left that everybody knows about. Many people might go into shock when they learn that their faith is based on religions made by demons. But the true Great Spirit is light and love, and is the source of all that exists. Juan O'Savin mentions 29th October as a key date. According to the numbers, when the midterm elections could be put on hold, in addition, from that time period are the sacred dates of October 29th to November 1st, that occur around the sacrificial feasts of Halloween, the most important time of the year for occultists. We are also in the years of Pluto's first return to the same position it was in when America was born. On this date, on 3 dates in 2022, February 22nd, July 11th and December 28th, mystical dates. Disclosure of operations by James O'Brien. As the world closed in, their mystic dates previously used in their spells become like a golden net, closing in on all sides, from without and from within, as the captured operation reverses and captures them. The Jewish New Year begins at sunset on Sunday 25 September 2022 and ends at sunset on Tuesday 27 September 2022. It is the anniversary of the creation of Adam and Eve and the day of judgment and coronation of God as King. Yom Kippur begins at sunset on Tuesday 4th October 2022 and ends at sunset on Wednesday 5th October 2022. It is the holiest day of the Jewish year, when we are closest to our own soul. It is the day of atonement. In quotes, for on this day we will forgive you, to cleanse you, that you may be clean from all your sins. Leviticus 16:30. 28th December 2022 marks the last key energy strike. Another important date is Hanukkah, along with the winter solstice of 21st December and Christmas on 25th December. Incidentally, there is also a total lunar eclipse on 8th November 2022, the date of the midterm elections. It begins at sunset on Sunday 18th December 2022 and ends at sunset on Monday 26th December 2022. Hanukkah commemorates the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem after a band of Jewish warriors defeated the powerful occupying Greek armies. All this state jumble is to underline a key point. The time between now and the midterm elections, between now and 28th December 2022, is the most momentous period in world history. It is good to take note of the 8-year time frame of these respective battles. The 8 is the symbol for infinity in reverse, and indeed this evolution of the consciousness of we the people has felt like its own little infinity. In other words, it is taking forever. Someday this war is going to end, and yet all things good and bad must come to their appointed ends. And this time, this important date of the black and white rabbit is now upon us. Throughout this journey, we have followed the white rabbit. He led us together down unexpected and outrage rabbit holes, some darker than others. But now we are emerging together into the light of a new dawn. We can only imagine what will follow when the darkness that has run the world order has passed and we face a new future together, where goodness and light are in control. Apocalyptic. A lady who had a near-death experience was shown that the war would occur, followed by economic collapse, followed by worldwide riots of people overthrowing their governments, followed by tribalism and no recovery. He was surprised that it happened on January 6th, but the other things that were shown may or may not happen. Don't forget that there are parallel worlds, and the choices we make define the positive or negative timelines. This whole system is based on consent. Soul and micronova, the end of an age. Revelation 6:12-13. In quotes, I saw when he opened the 6th seal, there was a great earthquake. The sun became black as a sackcloth made of goat's hair. The whole moon became red as blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth like green figs falling from a tree, shaken by a great wind. According to Jinti Code, the Bible originally had 777 books. Now it doesn't, because it is mangled. That's what the Draconians do on every world they come to. They shred the holy books. They fragment the knowledge and pull out pieces to create warring factions that can create wars. They don't just feed on us physically. They feed on our etheric energy called lush. They place their ships over fields of war and feed on the pain and suffering. They need to create these Muslim, Christian and Jewish factions, all these different groups, so they can get hate. Reset news. Brussels flooded by thousands of European citizens protesting the cost of energy, food and petrol. Prices continue to rise, but wages remain the same. Control of the social scoring system from London. The British pound falls to its lowest level against the dollar since 1985. The UK's dilemma: continue to support Ukraine or avoid the electricity crisis. Germany's finance minister describes inflation as a threat to national welfare. Hungary notes that Europe suffers more from sanctions than Russia. Indonesian scientists propose replacing oil with sugarcane and sunflower seeds. The global energy crisis represents a great opportunity for Argentina. The war in Ukraine and the economic sanctions have altered the functioning of the international oil and gas market, according to the economist Alfredo Zayat. In this critical scenario for many countries, the unconventional hydrocarbon field called Vaca Muerta, located in the province of Neuquén, Mendoza, and La Pampa in Argentina, emerges as a major player of global relevance. Inflation in Mexico rises to 8.76% year-on-year in the first half of September. Biden declares major disaster for Puerto Rico after Hurricane Fiona. Biden signs transhumanist executive order. Data would be extracted from humans for their most personal possession, their DNA, and the genomic properties. It will be encouraged and seen as a green light for biomedical professionals around the world. The goal of the technocratic owners of Agenda 2030 is to catalog, map, and monitor every living thing on Earth. Peter Goodburn claims that the dollar is in a terminal phase. A currency war has begun. A change in the economic structure is coming according to the X22 report. There could be a shortage of lithium batteries, as well as a shortage of energy. The plan to convince people that everything is back to normal regarding fuel inflation has backfired. The battle has begun. Agency lottery by Dunblom. Which of these three-letter agencies will claim the world's assets because they believe they have the most authority? It's getting close to the end, as none of them want to lose anything. They want to claim it as their own. It would be like a lottery, and they would be fighting each other. Congressman Tim Burchett claims the government has reverse-engineered extraterrestrial technology. He highlighted the concealment of UFOs by intelligence agencies and the Department of Defense, in quotes. We are the most technologically advanced nation in the world, and they present us with these lousy videos that, during the hearing, they couldn't even pause properly to show us 2 or 3 frames, he said. It's all wrong. They don't trust us. It's all about power and control, he added. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.